All right, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, welcome back to This Week in Base Hit. I'm your host, Zubaz with a Z and another Z, and that's my friend, Citizen Clone. Clone, how's your week?
It was a good week. Merry Christmas. I love seeing the tree up there.
That's a Brewer's Christmas tree topper that you sent me
Yeah.
right there. Stained glass, humble
Yep.
brag.
Love having that back there. And you got Rule 5 draft.
It's
Is
the Rule
that
5 draft. It was the winter meetings this coming week, so I thought we should talk about the winter meetings
yeah.
and talk about the Rule 5 draft.
Tell me about the winter meetings because I don't really understand what they are.
So winter meetings are actually pretty interesting. Typically, right around this time, not always, because they could be finalizing deals, but typically free agency stops for a short period of like 4 days. Because what happens during the winter meetings is all the GMs get together. It's literally a winter meeting. All the front offices get together. And it's not just GMs, because I heard like even like all the grounds guys get together and have a symposium about the stuff that they work on. But what comes out of it,
All the
yeah, like
scouts? Are the
all the
scouts there?
yeah, like they all it's the winter meetings, but all the news gets sucked up because the GMs talk, and sometimes a big trade comes out of it, especially like a three-way trade if they have to do that, like the one that sent William Contreras to Milwaukee, Esteury Ruiz to the A's. What's his name? The catcher from Braves, um, from
Yeah.
Oakland to the. Why can't I think of his name? The Braves catcher. I don't know. Whatever. Um, but anyways, like sometimes a blockbuster comes out of it, so that's exciting. The other
Is it like a
thing,
convention? What I don't
yeah,
even
it's like they all go to a big convention
Okay.
hotel. They
Okay.
they have like speakers, they do all that. But
Okay.
what really comes out of it typically is the stuff that happens on the sides. But yeah, like the during the winter meetings, like the head of the umpires will talk about potential rule changes for the next year. Like they'll do all that stuff. The trainers will be there, um, talking about trainer stuff, whatever. Then there'll be I'm guessing, I don't know this, but my guess with all of those, how they finance them is a trade show. So there'll be all these, batting glove makers and guys that sell the speed guns, and like there'll be, a trade show that you walk through and they try and sell you stuff. That's how almost always they finance those type of get-togethers. Anyways, but right in the middle of it is the Rule 5 draft. And I think I'm 50 years old. I think I spent the first 48 years of my life hearing the Rule 5 draft and not knowing or really caring too much about it. But I do think it's interesting. So I thought I would catch everybody up on what happens with
let
the Rule
me let
5 draft.
me all right. I'm
Yeah, go
worried.
ahead. Go ahead. What were you going
I'm
to do?
worried about the economics lesson you did recently,
No,
so
no,
I'm
no.
gonna
I'm gonna keep it short.
so
So
my you could tell me where I'm wrong.
yeah,
My
yeah, please.
understanding of qualified draft is guys that you haven't brought up in enough time or you don't have space for, and then they're getting picked up by other teams, and I don't remember the if there's compensation. Anyway, that's it. I
Yeah,
already
yeah,
you
yeah. No, you
okay.
got it. You got it right. So essentially, if you were drafted at 18 or younger, uh, they get you. You're protected as part of the organization for 5 years. 19 or over, you're protected for 4 years in the minor leagues. Um, and then if you're still in the minor leagues after those years, and there's some kind of ways that they can also protect you on a list. But for the most part, uh, if you've never been put on the 40-man roster, you are unprotected. And so a lot of teams will find ways to protect their talent that has been growing slowly, either by putting them on the 40-man roster. I think there is a protection list of some kind too, but
Hmm.
everybody else is available to be selected. And so I was looking through but the thing that keeps people from just snatching up your talent is they don't have to. If you draft somebody, you don't have to keep them on your 40-man roster. You have to keep them on your 26-man roster all year, which means they have to be on the team
Oh,
in the
from Rule
dugout
5? Okay,
all
okay, okay.
year. Yeah. And so that's
Immediately?
Yes, for all of the 26 season. And so typically the only guys that get drafted here are either relievers or starters that they're going to hide in the pen for the year. I mean, it's not typical that somebody would be unprotected that is going to start in the field. Like you'll see utility infielders sometimes get picked up, but mostly you're going to see relief pitchers.
Who's the
Um,
most famous? Do you have like
I,
famous rule?
I do. Yeah,
Oh,
you know me well.
okay.
So there have been some bangers over the year. It is few and far between, probably 1,000 to 1. But there are two guys that got picked up in the Rule 5 draft that went on. Oh, the balloons again. I gotta stop. There's
Okay.
two guys that have been picked up in the Rule 5 draft in the history of baseball that went on to be Hall of Famers.
Okay.
The first
You pick
being,
you pick them up, they're yours forever and ever and ever, and that's okay. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean, yeah,
you can
you
still
pick
you
them
gotta
up and then
retire.
you still gotta, yeah, go with whatever their contract is and re-sign them and everything. But um, first one is Roberto Clemente, was a
Really?
Rule
I didn't
5
know. Yeah,
pick,
yeah.
and he was a Rule 5 pick from the Brooklyn Dodgers that the Pittsburgh Pirates picked up, and it was the greatest Rule 5 pickup of all time.
What were they doing?
I don't know what the background is on it, but yeah, that he's the best pickup. Second best pickup of all time was Johan Santana, who the
Really?
Twins picked up from the Miami Marlins during one of, and this is how this happens, right? Is like if you have a huge influx of talent, and the Miami Marlins are the worst for this because they hoard talent, then they trade everybody away. Hoard talent, trade everybody away. Well, in those hoarding cases, they can't protect a lot of players. And in this case,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had Johan Santana sitting out there, and the Twins picked him up, turned into a
Okay.
Hall of Fame. There's also been a couple of Hall of Fame adjacent guys like George Bell from the Blue Jays and Josh Hamilton um, from the Rangers were both Rule 5 guys. Other than that, the next most famous is like Dan Ugla. So like Rule 5 guys don't typically turn into Hall of Famers,
Well, all
but
the people that are on the internet looking up rule that are at home
you're
going,
probably
man,
going too deep.
I want to do some Rule 5 draft digging. Now,
Yeah,
is
you're
there any
probably going too deep.
you got a prediction for this
Well,
already?
so I don't have any predictions because I really honestly don't know most of these guys because most of them haven't played in the majors and most of them aren't like top 100 prospects. Um, but if you go through the list of eligible guys, it is surprising how many Miami Marlins are on there again that are available. I didn't see a single guy from the Brewers that would likely be
Uh,
picked,
uh,
and so like I think it might be a slight indictment of either hoarding talent or your inability to move people through your minors if you have too many guys listed on there. But having guys available is obviously inevitable.
uh, you didn't know what questions I was going to ask you. My other question is, what's Rule 4?
Uh, Rule 4 is don't let Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame, I
We gotta
think,
look. We gotta
because
look up. I do love the name Rule 5 draft, but
yeah, what it's
why is it
like
Rule 5?
Article 5 from NATO, like what's Article 4? Like
I,
why is
I want to go back and check what Rule
if
4
Rule
is.
5 and Article 5 were so important, why aren't they Article 1 and Rule 1?
No kidding.
All right.
That's cool.
So
So
there you
you're
go.
looking
So that's
at
Rule 5.
that's cool.
The Brewers,
You were digging into that this week?
yeah, I was because the Brewers, who are my team, obviously,
Oh yeah.
are famous for picking up a reliever during the Rule 5 draft
Got it.
and turning them into somebody. Like they do harvest good talent out of Rule 5 drafts
Okay.
historically. So
If it's like last week, we'll find out that. I
the
mean, when does
Dodgers will not.
last week? No, but last week there was like a move as soon as we got on here where you had breaking news. I haven't checked. I should have gone for breaking news.
I didn't see
I
any breaking news.
week.
Yeah.
So we made our free agent. It was only a week ago.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was
Yeah.
2 weeks because of Thanksgiving. We made our free agency predictions. I have it.
We're already wrong.
We're already wrong. We were wrong on Devin Williams, but I did. I just thought about because all the sites, like you said a while back, the format that everybody uses, and they generally all the sites have like top 50 guys, an article about each
Yep.
one, and like the
The
three
three
most
teams.
likely.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time using that to like organize my predictions. So I started making a board, and I might try to make. I'm gonna try to
Oh,
put something out there, but I started making a board because I started thinking about it more in terms of um, what teams have money to spend. Like I don't ever see it in that way, so I just started thinking about it that way, like checking last year's payroll, this year's payroll, how much space you got left. I was thinking about it like spreadsheet and match. Yeah, and then you've got your, you know, who needs a shortstop and what shortstops are out there.
yeah. Yep.
But it was interesting to look at that. So like the Brewers are already over their because of Woodruff, they're already over their cap number. I
Yep.
mean, and who knows if they're going to go up or not. And Blue Jays are already blowing away their cap number, and they haven't
That one shocked me.
if they're going to do Bichette
Well, yeah, and now they
or
can't do
Tucker.
Tucker, right? Like they, because my prediction was they were going to do both of them, but once they signed Cease instead of the Red Sox signing them, it threw all of my predictions like
Yeah.
dominoes.
So if they're going to do, I mean, I think they're already 25 million over where they were last year. So if they do any of the other big trades, they're going to go even further. So Blue Jays are ruining
But if they're going
baseball.
to go way over, if if they're going to go way over, this is the year to do it, right? Like they have the support of
They're
the
one out
community,
away.
the fans, right?
They're
Yeah,
one out away.
like
Uh,
they almost have to do it
so
if they're
then
going to
looking
do it.
at teams, so then I was going back to see teams that and predictions we made. So the Mets had the biggest gap from last year, but they're spending money already. And you were talking about you had the theory of that they're cleaning house or whatever, but they've got so maybe they're letting Edwin Diaz go, but they got Devin Williams.
They let Edwin Diaz go. That was one of my for sure picks. I didn't even have a second team for Edwin Diaz. So that really threw me off. And so that kind of got me into the thing we were talking about this week where I was like, oh, I think they're not cleaning house, but they're trying to change the culture. And there was always the rumor about the big rat versus raccoon fight between McNeil and Lindor. And all of a sudden
You need
now,
to tell me that one at the time, unless
yeah,
it's
they traded for Simeon for Nimmo, and people were like, why would they make that trade? But now all of a sudden you have a guy that's not going to let Lindor down at second base defensively and a guy that he respects. And it's like, oh, maybe they're trying to make clubhouse changes, not lineup changes.
yeah. Uh,
And I wonder that about Edwin Diaz too. Like, I've never heard of him being a bad clubhouse guy, but he is a fiery guy. So I don't know.
so then if they're doing that, what happens when they pick up Framber? Is he going to be a clubhouse guy?
Bramber, yeah, I don't
Because
know.
the
He's so
spaces are
weird.
running out when I'm looking at places for him to go.
He's going to
Uh,
the Giants. I'm telling
is
you.
he? Okay. Well, that's what Giants are up there. The Giants are spending money. They don't, unless have they said that they're going to raise their cap number because they don't have as much space. Some of the guys that stuck out. So Dodgers still haven't spent their money if they're going to be putting up as much as they did last year. We'll see. But like, so guys, this is why I was bringing it up because there were guys I hadn't noticed. So
Yeah.
Rangers have a bunch of space to fill,
Yep.
and I don't know. Do we have anybody that the Rangers would?
Well, I said they were going to get Okamoto. I thought they were going to spend their money on Okamoto, but we'll see.
Okay.
But
Uh,
I really didn't have them anywhere else on my list, so they could pop up a
oh, and
couple
you don't think
places.
that's when we went into? You don't think Ranger Suarez? I mean, it's just so perfect. How could he not?
Uh, that's so weird.
How could he not go there?
But I mean, like we said, the Brewers had a guy named Brewer Hicklin. So that seemed pretty sweet at the time. So Ranger Suarez being there as an ace, that's pretty cool.
Phillies have a bunch of money to spend, and that we're like, I think they're listed as like one of the just like the Dodgers, they're listed as one of the options for every single player. What are they going to do? Have you
Uh,
revised your opinions?
yeah, I mean, there's still like jury's out if Schwarber's
Suarez?
going to go there or not.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Um, they're still actively trying to trade Bohm, which makes me wonder, like, is there a long shot chance they're going after Bregman? Like, I still think Bregman's going to the Tigers, but there's something weird happening with the Phillies there, like where you're wondering, like, they're trying to create a hole at third base for
oh yeah.
some reason.
Interesting. And
Um,
then the two that
and,
stuck
and,
out
and
to
it could
me.
be
Oh, go on.
no, no, no. I was going to say, like we were talking about Eugenio Suarez too, and I was like, oh, maybe he's there. I really like wanted or thought that that might be where the Reds spend their money, but I don't know. We'll see.
Uh, the two other teams that stuck out when I was looking at it by money left to spend, if they're getting near where they were last year, are the Diamondbacks, which I did not. We got a Diamondbacks.
I had Murakami going. I had another Japanese player, Murakami. I thought he fit really well there because the
Joe
whole
Bregman
you.
to the Diamondbacks.
I
I
don't.
haven't heard
I don't
anything.
think they can give him the length. I think that that's why I had him going to Detroit. I think Detroit's the only one that's willing to give him the contract he wants. I
Yeah,
might be wrong,
yeah,
but
who knows? And then the Orioles are the other one. The Orioles have a chunk of money to spend if they're sticking to where they were.
and I don't know if you remember or not, but I had the Orioles nowhere on my list. I could not find a suitable fit for any of these guys in Baltimore. I assume if they get somebody, it's going to be a starting pitcher.
Yeah,
Like
pitcher. Supposedly they
Merrill,
need an outfielder too,
they
but I haven't
might
heard
they
anything.
might go after like Merrill Kelly or somebody like that. I don't know.
We still haven't had you. We said that
Chris Bassett.
Tucker was going to set the market, but he hasn't moved. Other guys have been moving. It seems like
No, I don't think very many people have moved. Like who
the
else?
I don't know. It seems like the spaces are going. I don't know who's really going to spend, who's going to do the 10-year deals for these guys or 8-year deals. It it seems weird to imagine it. And then I guess I just write down maybe the Mets for everybody because they have a bunch of money. But the Cease deal came in. We were talking about maybe the market would be depressed, but the Cease deal came above what people
I
were.
think I think in the background the market is depressed. I really do because like there's a reason five people took qualifying offers when that's never happened. And that's because of feedback that they were getting from the market that the market might not be there for them. But you look at those players, though, it's guys that weren't the top. It was the next level,
Yeah,
and it was,
could be.
it was, and so that tells me in my head, like Gleyber Torres, Brandon Woodruff were going to be just below a Dylan Cease and Alex Bregman, right? So
Yeah, it could be. You had the theory, or maybe not. I mean, the qualifying offer to me has gotten very interesting learning about that. And I kind of think what you would say, I think some teams overdid it. They were starting to think, they were starting to think,
it was a free
man,
draft pick.
we could pick up a pick and put it out there. And they got a little too greedy and they gave them to guys they shouldn't have. I
Yeah,
was
well,
listening
like
to,
Trent Grisham, right? Like that's a crazy one to risk $22 million a year.
yeah. I can give a plug to, I was listening to, I think it was MLB TradeRumors.com or whatever. They have podcasts, and I hadn't listened to them before, but they did a free agency prediction thing. But somewhere thrown in their entire thing before the qualifying offers came out, they were like, let's talk about guys that might pick up the qualifying offer. And they nailed all four of them.
Did they
They just,
really?
yeah, they just listed them like on the sides, like could be Grisham, could be Woodruff, could be, yeah. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
uh,
Yeah, I think that second I think it's going to be before free agent period's up, I think the story is going to be a lot of consternation with guys not getting deals and having to take short-term deals, maybe even 1 year deals,
yeah.
like good players. Like
So let's
the
make we're vaguing it up. We got to make our revised. The other thing I noticed when I was looking into this because we haven't done these predictions before is generally people don't update them later. We should let our. I still think I should just go back and edit over. We should just move our mouse and I should make it look like we've gotten them all right. But
Yep.
you got any updated? Who are the guys?
Here's
Who are the
one.
big guys that you think are not going to get a big deal? I guess.
Pete Alonso will go to
For
there. Throw whatever. Now,
how many years? For how many years?
so yeah, but like obviously Alonso, Bregman, Tucker, they're all going to find their deal and their years, I think.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah, I think Bichette will too. Um, Ranger Suarez will. He's just too valuable. Everybody after that, I think, is going to. Oh, and yeah, no, I think everybody after that, either because of their age or because they're on that next layer of talent, is going to struggle. Like, like who's going to give a multi-year deal to like JT Realmuto at 35?
Yeah, I don't think he's an option, but like Bellinger, like I
Well,
mean, it's all
He's the best catcher, though.
he's old. I
Yeah.
mean, it all depends on what the guys are asking for. Yeah, if they're wanting more money up front. I mean, it seems like it's shifted where I don't know. I was telling you the other day about. I mean, I feel like that Soto deal is going to be looked back at as insanity. I could be wrong, but like,
No, for sure it is.
I
It,
mean, for a while,
yeah.
like
Like they're
because
going to have to start DHing him now.
it was insanity, and the number and
So bad.
everybody this time last year. They were thinking about that 700 million number for Otani, which was not 700 million because the
You just
deferral.
can't let this go.
It was like 47 million a year, which is a ton,
Yeah.
but it wasn't 70 million a year. And they gave Soto like almost, I mean, they like how much higher is it in actual dollars? It's ridiculous. And yeah, he's at the worst. He's on the low end of all the defensive metrics. I
Yeah.
mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't even argue that Otani is a DH because he can pitch.
Yeah.
Like Soto is the worst defensive player in the league.
I mean, Otani might be more valuable as a defensive player as a DH than Soto in outfield because of Soto having negative.
Because he's negative. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Um,
Well, and like who couldn't see this coming? Where you have a guy that's like a marginally like bottom 10 defensive guy get worse once is almost a billionaire, right? Like once you get 700 million guaranteed, you think he's going to run harder in right field? Mm,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
he's getting fat and sassy out there.
So that's what like it seems like. Yeah, last year was the insanity, and I know that you say we're not a Dodger podcast, but screw that, we are a Dodger podcast,
We are not a
and
Dodger podcast.
and going behind the curtain, I'm going to start selling you on the idea that we're big market, small market. That's our pitch. We got a big market and a small market guy here that have our different perspectives.
Okay, so it's not a Dodger podcast.
Anyway, but people thought, yeah, you could spend money like crazy, but the money that they spent was on like unicorns. They were actual weird, like Yamamoto was like a unicorn
Yeah,
and Otani. Otherwise, they went
yeah.
putting out crazy money, and then people started putting out crazy money, and now you're going back to where like Tucker, who's asking for all that money. It's hard to see which team is going to do it.
Well,
Who's
yeah,
going to?
I mean, now you're not talking big market, small market. You're talking about smart money, dumb money. And I think the Mets have historically been a dumb money team. Uh,
All right, so
they
yeah,
they have the same money and possibility as the Dodgers, but they're just run super inefficiently. And they were like the Soto deal was just like a keeping up with the Joneses. And I don't even understand like some of the moves that they make. Um, I was
yeah.
going to get into specifics, but I'll go down a Mets rabbit hole some other time. But I mean, it just goes to show like when you're efficiently run as a small market team like the Brewers, you can have success. But if you're efficiently run as
We're not a Brewers podcast, man. We're not a Brewers podcast.
a big market team like the Dodgers, then you can become a dynasty. You know what I mean? Like, but if you're, but just big market, small market alone does not decide your fate. It just decides like your the total ceiling and floor.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. All right, you got it. So you got a hot take, a hot prediction for in the next week? Anybody coming off the board?
No, no, it's all gonna be well. Actually, if anything, my hot take is that Freddy Peralta does not get traded at the winter meetings, which that's been the big thing on X is that Freddy Peralta is going to get traded, and the Brewers are warming up to it. I'm here telling you, and I have a little bit of insider knowledge that's not happening over the next week.
A little bit of insider knowledge.
So
I need to know more about
my
that.
hot take is something that's not going to happen. There
Okay.
you go. All right.
I got nothing. I wanted to have a hot take. Wait, Framber, Framber to the Mets. I'm just gonna say Framber to the Mets. When I did my puzzle pieces, I couldn't see anywhere else that he would go.
So
So
while we were on this podcast, just to make sure there wasn't any breaking news, I popped open X to see, and the first thing that came up was all signs point to Framber going to the Mets, and I was like, oh,
really,
isn't that just perfect? Just, I mean, I wanted the circus in
I
San
didn't look that
Francisco, but like a circus in New York is just as good,
up.
just as good. Like they're improving the locker room by Framber Valdez. You're insane.
Best arm left out there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's
That's
all.
like when the yeah, yeah.
What?
I can't wait to see how it works out.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
All right.
all right. That's this week in Base Hit. Join us next week when I cry over Freddy Peralta getting traded. See you next week.